Did you know that New York City has one of the largest South Asian and Southeast Asian populations in the U.S.? On today's show, we're going to explore some of these vibrant cultures and take you inside some of the hidden gems in these communities. I'm Ernabelle DeMillo, and you're watching Asian American Life. What's brewing, New York? It's time to wake up to Vietnamese coffee. Plus, we spotlight Queen's Little Bangladesh, keeping culture and traditions alive with Mekong's Intergenerational camp. Spice of life, Burmese cuisine is all the rage. And Pandesal bread is on the rise. This and more on Asian American Life. New Yorkers love a good cup of coffee, so it's no surprise that traditional Vietnamese coffee is taking off in the city. And we found the next generation of coffee shops serving up the true flavors of Vietnam, one cup at a time.
So I use crushed ice and not it's around this much of ice. So how do you like your coffee?
Well, since you asked, and because we are at an authentic Vietnamese coffee house, we want our coffee bold, rich, and sweetened with condensed milk.
People like it, people love it, people accept it, and I don't want to change anything because it's not going to be the Vietnamese thing anymore.
You can say Christmas literally came early for New York coffee lovers when Christmas Lê opened Khuyen from Vietnam last summer.
This is how we check Vietnamese coffee the Vietnamese way, just like Uncle.
Step into her cozy cafe on Mott Street in Chinatown, where you'll find Christmas's art on the walls, cool vintage decor, and traditional Vietnamese cafe brewing.
So this is the way I make Vietnamese coffee. I use the jumbo Phin filter instead of the single one, so it's so much more bigger. I can brew a lot of coffee at the same time.
Her mission is simple, to bring the coffee of her childhood in Vietnam to New York. So what makes the coffee authentic? Let's start with the bean. The coffee is made with a dark roast Robusta bean grown in the mountains of Vietnam. It's bold, strong, and has a high caffeine content. Next, the grounds are slow dripped through a Phin, a uniquely Vietnamese metal coffee filter, then topped with condensed milk.
The way I do is put the coffee beans in here, pour hot water over it, wait for it to bloom, and then we're gonna brush this down and just keep pouring hot water. The way we brew the coffee from the traditional Phin filter. So it's the process of the dripping is slow down, like how it dripped down. It's not supposed to be too fast.
New Yorkers, did you hear that? Traditional Vietnamese coffee requires some patience. P.S. Christmas does offer pre-made coffee for those in a hurry.
But I have to ask people slow down, take your time. Life is so short. Why would you want to rush it? And if you love the coffee, just enjoy it slowly.
And maybe, just maybe, New Yorkers are taking the hint to slow down. Over the last couple of years, more Vietnamese coffee houses with the signature slow pour technique are popping up across the city. Some attribute the rising popularity of the real thing to Brooklyn-based coffee roaster Nguyen Coffee. We featured the owner on our show back in 2020.
These are Robusta beans from Vietnam. We import from a family farm in the Lac, Vietnam.
Also, with global travel to Vietnam on the rise, many are chasing the dragon, if you will, looking for the authentic coffee they enjoyed in Ho Chi Minh and Hanoi.
Some of the best coffee I've ever tried. Yeah.
Fortunately for Globetrotters, there are several cafes in New York where you can find the classic cafe. In the East Village, we found it at Le Phin. You can call owner Queen Lê a true coffee expert. She did a lot of homework before opening her shop.
I love the science behind it. The more that I explore the different aspects of coffee, the more I'm fascinated.
She worked in her uncle's coffee farm in Vietnam, similar to this one, exported coffee, then came back to the U.S., where she eventually became a coffee quality grader. That's like the coffee industry's equivalent of being a master sommelier.
What I want to introduce here is the coffee culture. Like, I want you to taste the flavor of my hometown.
For Khuyen, the Lower East Side location even reminded her of Vietnam.
So I just happened to came across this bay, and I remember I was like very impressed. It feels like something similar with the vibe in Vietnam that I had. I remember I walked on this street on the rainy day, and I saw there's a tailor shop, which is my mom is the tailor, and I saw like a hair salon, and this bay just something that feels special that caught me up.
But she admits she has had to adapt to New Yorkers' tastes and habits, whether it's serving quick coffee on the go or flavored coffees like pandan lattes.
My goal for Le Phin is I want to create something that people will drink it daily. It still somehow keep the key components that make Vietnamese coffee, but it's still like we're gonna meet you in the middle, like we understand your behavior.
But the main character at Le Phin and Hien will always be the classic cafe, one uniquely Vietnamese rooted in history and the motherland where it was born. For Asian American Life, I'm Ernabelle DeMillo.
I'm Kyung Yoon in Jackson Heights, Queens, one of New York's most vibrant immigrant hubs and home to one of the fastest growing communities, Bangladeshi New Yorkers.
From the bright jewelry shops to the smell of freshly cooked street food on the sidewalks, 73rd Street in Jackson Heights is a slice of Bangladesh in the heart of Queens. Immigrants began settling here in large numbers in the 1990s, and today the neighborhood is a cultural anchor for more than 100,000 Bangladeshi New Yorkers. Shaharia Alam Nahid has been working in this jewelry store for 2 years, and he says business has been good, with customers hailing from many countries.
Bangladesh, like Pakistan, Indian, and Canadian, like Mexico, Colombia, Panama, every country, some.
Down the block, Jahur Rahman is busy cooking up Bangladeshi comfort food. This dish made of crispy puri filled with spiced potatoes. He says it's one of the most popular items on his menu.
Fuska and doi fuska. This one and this one, very famous Bangladesh and New York.
City Council member Shekar Krishnan represents Jackson Heights, Elmhurst, and Woodside, Queens.
The Bangladeshi community, not only in Jackson Heights, not only in Queens, across New York City, is so vibrant. It is rapidly growing. Their power is rapidly growing too. This is a community that is an essential community in this city of delivery workers, of taxi drivers, of street vendors, of small business owners. The Bangladeshi community is thriving in New York, and our city moves forward every day, in part because of their efforts.
Preserving Bangladeshi language and culture and passing them on is the mission of the Bangladeshi Institute of Performing Arts, or BIPA. Founded in 1993, the organization teaches Bengali dance, music, and language to hundreds of students across New York.
We educate our children, our youth, older adults, and we also promote cultural exchange within the Bangladeshi American and beyond.
Ferdous says the group began in a grocery store basement with just 6 students and has grown to 3 branches and nearly 300 students.
The main mission was to practice our culture so it doesn't die. And when we thought that if we don't leave, it has to pass on, that's when we started to offer classes. And our group became bigger. The parents, they know that their children need to know the culture. That's why they're trying to bring them to us to educate them.
For me, representing Jackson Heights, I get a real close-up view with such pride of the immensely fast-growing political power of the Bangladeshi community too. This is a community that, because it is such an essential part of our city, every branch of government is becoming more and more responsive to the needs of our Bangladeshi community.
And that's why community leaders say visibility matters. They want New Yorkers to know that Bangladeshi community isn't just growing, it's contributing, creating, and enriching the city in ways big and small. I'm Kyung Yoon for Asian American Life.
Summer camp brings to mind activities like swimming and sports. But one city program is offering something a little more personal, a chance for Southeast Asian kids to connect with their cultural roots. From cooking authentic Vietnamese meals to quilting with traditional Cambodian fabrics, these campers are getting cultural legacy lessons from senior members of the Southeast Asian community in the Bronx.
All of them feel like they're not represented. They don't really know about their culture.
I didn't really understand what the implications of being Southeast Asian meant. You know, I understood that my parents were immigrants, but I didn't really know what it meant, you know, that they were refugees. These are distinctions that they don't teach you in school, especially alongside peers who don't really understand what Cambodia is, or they only know you through the lens of the Vietnam War, because we are more than the war, we are more than the Khmer Rouge, and we are more than just a small paragraph that they include in the global history textbook.
That's where Mekong NYC's Intergenerational summer program fills in the gaps, helping local youth learn about their distinct Cambodian and Vietnamese cultures through history lessons, community involvement, and a special peer group project.
Both mighty dragons desired full control of the Mekong Delta for their people.
The summer program gives the students a chance to learn about our history, but also do it in a very uplifting way. I think before Mekong, a lot of the history I learned about Vietnam was honestly really negative. It was like there was war, there was famine, there was poverty, and then we were refugees for years, and then we went to the most disinvested city in the state, you know. But through the summer program, it was like you kind of find the light in the resettlement. You kind of find the beauty in art and culture.
It's not every day that you get to be in a room full of other like young-minded like children, like teenagers that all feel the same way that you do.
It was like a second chance for me to relive my culture, because growing up, I experienced like a lot of bullying stuff because of my culture. So I kind of like put on the back burner. Like I mostly, for like ethnic food, I didn't really prefer eating it, but then going into Mekong and like seeing other people around me like are similar to me, share the same stories as me, the same struggles, I started to like, you know, open up.
It's an experience that inspires many of the summer students to become year-round youth fellows, getting involved in political and civic engagement by advocating for the local Southeast Asian community in campaigns that focus on issues from rights for nail salon workers to anti-deportation efforts.
Giving a platform for folks who already have that strong voice, you know what I'm saying? It's just that we're kind of pushing them to be like, speak then, you know what I mean? Like, this is your time, this is your space, you know, creating space for them to kind of like vocalize their concerns and feel powerful, because they are powerful.
For Asian American Life, I'm Susan Jun.
I'm Vivian Lee in the Elmhurst section of Queens. Every Sunday, you'll find a kind of community canteen here that serves an authentic Burmese breakfast. It's unlike any breakfast you've ever had, and it's so filling, it just might be your only meal of the day. It's 7 a.m. on a rainy morning. In a restaurant kitchen, the world-renowned Burmese soup, mohinga, which takes 6 hours to get right, still needs to brew some more.
1.5 hours, 90 per day.
Wow. In the dining room, people lay out prepped ingredients for a variety of hearty dishes. They're all humble home cooks with community credibility when it comes to food. The man who believed they deserved a platform and his community deserved a weekly treat is Mo Chan. What makes Burmese breakfast so memorable?
Interactions, and the warmness that we provide to our beloved customers. We don't want them to be staying home and eating whatever they could at home. We want them to come, mingle, enjoy at least once a week.
Diners can enjoy shan khao tsui, a noodle soup with creamy tofu or without, and topped with pickled mustard greens and chopped peanuts. Foodies rave about it on social media.
This dish caught my eye right away. I saw this gloopy yellow bean tofu with noodle. We got it with chicken. Shak koi, spicy, a little tangy, earthiness too. A little bit of crunch, some peanuts in there. That's delicious.
And onno khao tsui, a chicken and coconut curry broth with noodles and toppings. The mohinga is now ready, a fish-based soup with lemongrass, garlic, and ginger, and served with noodles, lime, cilantro, and chili powder for a kick. Myanmar, known in English as Burma until the 1990s, has a food culture heavily influenced by both China and India, but with definite Southeast Asian flavors. Mohinga happens to be the national dish of Myanmar, which goes to show you don't have to travel too far to enjoy a little bit of Burma here in New York.
Being so far away, right, from Burma with the current conflict, things like that, it's a way for us to, or for me personally, to still stay connected to where I was born.
Another favorite is a chilled noodle salad called nan gi tok, made of several kinds of noodles, chickpea flour, fish sauce, and topped with cilantro, lime, and a boiled egg. The mouth-watering fragrance of it all hits you as you climb the stairs to the dining room. And since most customers have Sunday mornings off, Burmese breakfast has become a tradition for families over the last 2 years. For many, this is home in a bowl.
So I feel like we don't really have like Burmese food available here. So like we miss like food from back home, and then like it's great that we have this kind of option now. And also I think it's also nice to meet other people from back home.
According to Census Bureau data, roughly 240,000 people in the U.S. identified as Burmese. Indiana, California, and New York are home to the largest Burmese communities. In New York City, the largest concentration of Burmese is here in Elmhurst, just several thousand. But the simple act of ordering toppings on food you would find on the streets of Yangon feels like a blessing.
Look at how we serve our people, our customers. We serve by interacting, everything is on the table, as I said. You can pick and choose what to put and what not to put. And this is how Burmese way of selling food back home.
Burmese breakfast happens every Sunday from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. at Nangma Tibetan Restaurant in Elmhurst, Queens. For Asian American Life, I'm Vivian Lee.
Most people outside the Filipino community have no idea what Pandesal is, while a husband and wife baking team are hoping to change all that. Bread is universal. It can be found in every culture in the world. For Filipinos, the staple bread is the Pandesal, which means salt bread in Spanish, and is a popular roll served for breakfast or an afternoon merienda. This brings me back home. That is the memory Jen Arellano wants to evoke with her baking company, Arellano Pandesal. It all began during the pandemic, testing recipes and baking Pandesal for fun with her mom.
When I tasted it, I knew it was more than just I'm eating, taking a bite, and recipe testing. It felt like, I just felt like I saw a whole path.
Her husband, Khuyen Amedian, also felt the pull at first bite.
So I remember biting into it. I have a really poor sense of smell, so I didn't even smell it baking, to be honest. But there was just this rush. It was first the soft, buttery kind of overture, and then the just the right level of sweetness and then the vanilla aftertaste. I took a few bites and I just turned to her and said, like, how have I never had this? B, how is this not the most popular bread in the world?
That was the beginning of the couple's Pandesal journey, one that coincided with their own love story. How did you two end up baking Pandesal as a living?
I think we ask ourselves that every single morning that we wake up and have to come and bake.
The former tech writers had to start from scratch. Neither had baking or business experience. They drew up a business plan. Jen quit her job. Khuyen went freelance. They got married and researched recipes.
So we read every single contemporary baking cookbook that's come out since 2020, since I don't know. But it was a lot of research. We love research. We love to read.
Well, we even used our honeymoon to travel to New Orleans.
Yeah,
because we wanted to visit St. Malo. We didn't realize it was covered over.
Yes, they spent their honeymoon looking for recipe ideas in St. Malo, the first Filipino settlement in the U.S. in the 1830s. You can say the couple didn't want to leave any rock unturned. Even today, the recipe is still evolving. Is the recipe a secret?
I don't know. We're kind of in between on it because, well,
there's secrets in it, maybe.
There are secrets.
They didn't spill any secrets. Instead, Jen and Khuyen invited us to watch the process.
How many more for this one?
3.
We're almost done.
This is where the magic rises, inside a shared commercial kitchen they rent in Long Island City. Even tinier drumsticks.
We open the dough, punch it down to remove any kind of air bubbles, knead it a little bit just to get it kind of into shape. Then I start dividing. So I cut it into the right size, throw it over to Jen, and then she rolls, places it on the tray.
The couple who married in 2022 have perfected their baking process. They move around the kitchen in sync like a choreographed dance. They have no plans to open a dedicated storefront. Instead, they see their bakery reaching a larger audience at pop-ups around the city, including a semi-permanent one at the Unisphere Cafe inside the Queens Museum.
We want it to be wherever people are. So yeah, we're finding wholesale clients. We love doing pop-ups in these events. We would love, ideally, to be available all over the city, maybe even by mail order, and then also have a space where we could debut new things.
Just last month, they debuted another beloved Filipino pastry, the ensamada, a sweet butter roll infused with Filipino flavors like pandan and ube. You're being so modest, it's sold out!
It sold out really quickly. Yeah, no, it's great.
But their first love will always be the pandesal, the bread that not only brought the couple together, but also helped Jen connect with their Filipino heritage.
And just having like the one-on-one experience with someone else made me feel that like, oh, if we do this, maybe someone else can feel like I'm Filipino enough too.
For Asian American Life, I'm Ernabelle DeMillo. I don't know about you, but I cannot wait to try all those amazing foods. And don't forget, for more information on our show, be sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, and 24/7 on the CUNY TV app. I'm Ernabelle DeMillo. We'll see you next time. Support your favorite programming here at CUNY TV. Please consider donating at cuny.tv.edu/donate.